Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to my channel. Good day my awesome students, my awesome viewers. How are you guys today? Semoga kalian semua selalu sehat dan tetap bersemangat untuk belajar. So this time we are going to study asking and giving opinion, yaitu memberi atau meminta dan memberi opini atau pendapat. Oke, masih dengan Miss Eno di sini. We're going to start by how do we say atau how do we express our opinion. Bagaimana sih cara kita memberikan opini? And how do we ask opinion from others? Ya. Pertama-tama, seputar memberi dan meminta opini ini yang harus kalian pahami adalah kapan kita sebaiknya meminta atau memberi opini. Of course, ini occasions-nya banyak sekali ya. Kita akan dihadapkan pada situation asking and giving opinion, baik situation formals, such as meetings, lunches, maupun juga general conversation. Jadi opini ini bukan berarti opini ini harus melulu soal yang berat-berat, harus tentang yang berat-berat, harus tentang issues yang berat, politics or things. Ini bisa jadi soal makanan yang enak, ini bisa jadi soal perdebatan film yang bagus, dan lain-lain. So you're going to need to study the phrases atau ungkapan-ungkapan yang bisa digunakan untuk meminta pendapat atau memberikan pendapat, ya. So this is one tips for you. Ketika kalian sedang dalam pembicaraan atau percakapan, it is better for you to ask others' opinion first before telling your opinion loudly or strongly. Jadi selalulah memulai dengan meminta opini seseorang atau lawan bicara kamu terlebih dahulu sebelum kamu mengungkapkan opini kamu dengan tegas. Kenapa? Karena bisa jadi opini kamu yang diungkapkan dengan tegas itu akan menyinggung personal matter dari si lawan bicara. Ya, this is one speaking tips for you. Okay, so I'm giving you this picture. What do you think of the picture? Lihat di sini ada a father. It seems like he's the father of the baby. Yeah. So he is smoking near his baby. What do you think of the picture? Have you ever seen this kind of situation around you? Apakah kalian sering melihat situasi seperti ini di sekitar kalian? Mungkin di lingkungan rumah kalian dan lain-lain. Of course, all of us have known that cigarette is bad for your health, ya. And also bad for the passive smoker atau perokok pasif. Dan tentunya akan buruk juga untuk si baby yang sekarang menjadi passive smoker atau perokok pasif. But probably one or two persons have different opinions about this. Ya, for instance, itu bayi-bayinya dia. So kita tidak perlu ikut campur. Ya, we don't have to comment on anything because it's his baby, it's his right to do anything with the baby. Tapi juga ada lagi yang tidak setuju. Nah, dalam pelajaran kali ini saya akan mengajak kalian untuk mempelajari phrases untuk memberikan opini baik pada gambar dan meminta opini teman kalian. Okay? So let's start with the phrases. Di sini saya punya statements punishment for younger students, hukuman untuk siswa yang masih kecil. Ya, di sini konteksnya siswa SD. Okay? If you want to ask for opinion from your friends about punishment for younger students, you can use one of these phrases. Remember, dalam semua video saya selalu menekankan only use one. Ya, you can use one phrase ya sampai kalian terbiasa, sampai kalian familiar. Lalu berikutnya kalau kalian mau menggunakan phrases yang lain, baru kalian bisa ya. Tapi supaya kalian lebih enak dan nyaman, pilih satu saja yang mudah ya untuk kalian ucapkan. Okay, I'm going to say these phrases. You can repeat after me. I'm going to use this phrase, the same phrase, the same statement. The first one. What do you think of punishment for younger students? What do you think of punishment for younger students? What do you think about punishment for younger students? What do you think about punishment for younger students? How do you feel about punishment for younger students? How do you feel about punishment for younger students? What do you reckon about punishment for younger students? What do you reckon about punishment for younger students? What's your opinion of punishment for younger students? What's your opinion of punishment for younger students? What do you think about that? Ya, kalau di sini tidak ada titik-titiknya, tidak perlu kamu sambungin lagi, tapi bisa. What do you think about that? What do you think about punishment for younger students? Ya, sama nanti jadi yang dengan yang kedua. What are your views? What are your views? Apa pandangan kamu on punishment for younger students? What are your views on punishment for younger students? Where do you stand on punishment for younger students? Where do you stand on punishment for younger students? What would you say to punishment for younger students? Di sini ada garis miring if we, oke? Kita bisa pakai if we juga. For instance, what would you say if we punish the younger students? What would you say if we punish younger students? Saya hilangkan ya for-nya ya. Are you aware of punishment for younger students? Are you aware of punishment for younger students? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Have you got any thoughts on this? Have you got any thoughts on this? Do you have any views on this? Do you have any views on this? Does anyone have any other comments? Does anyone have any other comments? I'd like to hear your views on this matter. I'd like to hear your views on this matter. Do you have any idea? Do you have any idea? Untuk yang 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Untuk yang 6 last phrases ya, 6 ungkapan terakhir, kamu bisa menggunakannya karena di sini tidak ada titik-titik, kita tidak menyertakan phrase yang tadi ya. Kamu bisa menggunakannya setelah kamu menyebutkan ya permasalahannya. For instance, have you heard about that kindergarten students who are punished by their teacher? Misalnya, kamu dengar nggak tentang anak-anak TK itu yang dihukum sama gurunya? Do you have any views on this? Does anyone have any other comments? I'd like to hear your views on this matter. Ya, ini jadi semua phrases ini digunakan untuk meminta atau menanyakan pendapat seseorang, ya. Oke, so bagaimana cara kita memberikan pendapat ketika kita balik ditanya? Kita menggunakan phrase ini sebagai awalan. Oke, jadi ditanya misalnya, what are your views on punishment for younger students? Lalu kamu akan memulainya dengan, I think, I believe, I feel, in my opinion, blah blah blah, and I would say, from my point of view, from my perspective, in my view, it seems to me that, I'm convinced that, I'm sure that, my impression is that, I tend to think. Oke, jadi yang tadi itu adalah phrases ketika kamu memberikan pendapat ya, kamu mengawalinya dengan ini. For instance, I believe that punishment is not the right way. Misalnya ya, I believe that punishment is not the right way to educate the younger students. Ya, hukuman bukan cara yang baik cara yang tepat untuk mendidik siswa-siswa yang masih muda ya. Lalu ketika ada orang sudah mengekspresikan pendapat dia, kamu bisa merespon. Kamu bisa merespon pendapatnya. Oke, direspon aja dulu. Use one. I see what you mean. You've got a point there. You've got a point there. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. That's a great suggestion. That's a great suggestion. That's one way of looking at it. That's one way of looking at it. Jadi misalnya kamu menanyakan pendapat teman kamu sudah memberikan pendapat, kamu balas dengan ini dulu. Ya, lalu bagaimana lagi? Apa yang harus kamu lakukan lagi setelah kamu membalasnya? Oh, I see what you mean. Oke, kamu bisa agree atau juga disagree. Kamu bisa setuju atau tidak setuju dengan opini yang telah disampaikan oleh teman kamu. Bagaimana kalau kamu setuju? You say, absolutely. Absolutely. Exactly. Exactly. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. I have exactly the same opinion as you. I have exactly the same opinion as you. I agree to a certain extent. I agree to a certain extent. I am with you up to a point. I am with you up to a point. I agree partly. I agree partly. I guess you're right. I guess you're right. Ya, jadi kalau kita setuju, pertama kita ucapkan ini dulu, lalu kita sampaikan lagi opini pribadi kita. What about if we disagree? Teman kita sudah mengucapkan opininya, pendapatnya, lalu kita balas dengan tadi I see what you mean. Kita langsung bisa bilang, yang tadi ya, I see what you mean. Kita bilang, I see what you mean. Atau, you've got a point there. You've got a point there. Lalu kita tidak setuju. Kita bisa pilih salah satu dari sini nih. Okay, I'm going to read this. You can repeat after me. I totally disagree. I totally disagree. I'm afraid I can't agree with you there. I'm afraid I can't agree with you there. With respect, I have to say I don't agree. With respect, I have to say I don't agree. I disagree entirely. I disagree entirely. I can't go along with that at all. I can't go along with that at all. It's out of the question. It's out of the question. I understand what you are saying, but I have a different opinion. I understand what you are saying, but I have a different opinion. I agree with you to a point, but I disagree about. I agree with you to a point, but I disagree about. Kalau yang ini agak halus nih. Jadi dia tidak sepenuhnya tidak setuju. I agree with you to a point. Jadi dia sebagian setuju, but I disagree about. Tapi saya tidak setujunya tentang gitu. I know what you mean, but I know what you mean, but I don't really agree with you. I don't really agree with you. I think it might be better to. I think it might be better to. I'd be inclined to think the opposite. I'd be inclined to think the opposite. Ini saya punya beberapa contoh dialog. Dialog pertama adalah antara Trevor dan Matt. I'm going to read this for you. Kalian bisa cek pronunciation kalian dengan repeating after me ya. Starting from the Trevor. Have you heard about our school's plan to ban smartphones in the school? All students have been talking about it at the canteen and the field. What do you think about it? Well, I think that's fair enough. Why do you think so? From my perspective, smartphones have caused so much trouble in our class. Remember yesterday's history class? Our teacher got very angry because he was interrupted by smartphone ringing many times. This may happen again and again. That's one way of looking at it. I tend to think that smartphones have caused a kind of stupid competition. What do you mean? I feel that everyone seems to compete to have the latest model. So, it's a good idea if the school doesn't allow students to use their smartphone in the school. Okay, so the topic of the dialogue is school's plan to ban smartphones. Ada di awal, ya. Jadi tajuknya ada di awal. Ketika si Trevor starting the conversation by, kamu sudah dengar belum tentang rencana sekolah untuk melarang smartphone di sekolah? So what did Matt say? Matt bilang, all students have been talking about it. Iya, semua anak tuh udah ngomongin soal hal itu. Trevor starting by asking Matt's opinion. What do you think about it? Ini adalah phrases untuk menanyakan pendapat. Si Matt bilang, I think that's fair enough. Ditanya lagi sama si Trevor, why do you think so? Si Matt bilang, from my perspective, smartphones, katanya dari pendapat saya, dari pandangan saya, smartphone telah menyebabkan banyak sekali masalah di kelas kita. Ingat nggak kelas sejarah kemarin? Guru kita sangat marah karena dia diganggu oleh dering handphone beberapa kali. Hal ini bisa terjadi lagi dan lagi. Iya sih, bisa jadi seperti itu, kata Trevor. I tend to think that smartphones have caused a kind of stupid competition. Jadi ada kompetisi bodoh menurut si Matt. Kenapa? Karena menurut dia, everyone seems to compete. Kayaknya semua orang berkompetisi to have the latest model. Ya, jadi si Matt ini setuju apabila sekolah itu melarang penggunaan smartphone di sekolah. Okay, the second dialogue is between Martha and Gilbert. Martha says, these days, it seems like everything is going digital. Even shopping, check-in hotels, and buy a train ticket. What do you think about that? You're right, kata Gilbert. I think everything can be easier and efficient. How about you? I think online shopping can be far less stressful than hitting the high street shop. You're right about an efficiency and can do shopping while doing another activity. Like cooking, for example. Exactly. Only from your smartphone you can get everything you need, kata si Gilbert. Jadi si Martha bilang, kayaknya sih sekarang ini segala sesuatu itu digital, bahkan termasuk belanja, check-in hotel, beli tiket kereta. Dan si Gilbert setuju, ya, karena si Gilbert bilang everything can be easier, lebih gampang dan lebih efisien. Ya, lalu si Martha bilang, online shopping can be far less stressful, bisa tidak terlalu stressful daripada kita jalan dari satu toko ke toko lain. Bener, lebih efisien. Dan dia bisa shopping sembari melakukan aktivitas lain seperti memasak. Tepat sekali kata si Gilbert. Only from your smartphone you can get. Kamu bisa mendapatkan apapun yang kamu inginkan. Oke, jadi permintaan pendapatnya ada di phrases yang mana? Phrases si Martha. What do you think about it? Ya, what do you think about it? Okay. The next dialogue is it's between Emily and Tommy. Emily says, I've just read about full day school. What's your opinion about that? In my view, it is useful for Indonesian education development. Because if school time is extended until 4 or 5 p.m., students can learn more. So, Indonesia's educational ranking in the world can be increased. Do you think like that? But how about the students? Don't you think it is too boring for them? In school all day. No, if the teacher can bring class situation more fun, giving them exciting activities, so the student will enjoy their day in school. Jadi percakapan ini tentang menanyakan pendapat tentang full day school. Si Emily bilang dia baru baca soal full day school. Nah, si Tommy nanya, what's your opinion? Bagaimana pendapat kamu? Lalu si Emily bilang, useful for Indonesian education development. Berguna banget nih untuk perkembangan pendidikan di Indonesia. Karena jika waktu sekolah diperpanjang, extended itu diperpanjang until 4 or 5 p.m., students can learn more. Ya, siswa-siswa dapat belajar lebih. So, Indonesia's educational ranking in the world can be increased. Jadi, ranking pendidikan Indonesia bisa meningkat. Do you think like that? Kata si Tommy. But how about the students? Don't you think it is too boring for them? Apa nggak terlalu membosankan buat mereka di sekolah loh sepanjang hari? No, kata si Emily. Kalau gurunya dapat membawa situasi kelas itu menjadi lebih fun, memberikan anak-anak exciting activities, kegiatan menyenangkan, jadi si siswa ini bisa menikmati hari-hari mereka di sekolah. Nah, kalau kayak begini nggak akan boring ya, nggak akan boring kelasnya. Okay, so that's all the examples of the dialogue about asking and giving opinion. Kita akan lanjut lagi in our next video about opinions of certain hot issues in Indonesia or in Jakarta. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you again next time. Bye.